Hello everyone, I thought it would be fun today to show you how I customized my little paper seed pot maker using my pyrography tool. I had an idea while I was using it and making hundreds of little paper pots for starting seeds, and I decided that I wanted it to look like it was getting dizzy while I was rolling it around on my table surface to make those little pots. So to start, I just used a pencil and sketched the faces that I wanted to make on the pot maker. So I did a happy face, like this poor little fella didn't know what they were getting into, and a dizzy face. And then I went ahead and marked around the neck of the pot maker to let myself know how high I want the paper to come when I'm rolling it. This pyrography tip is new. I normally work with one that's just a wire that has been shaped the way that I like it, but I wanted to give this one a shot since I got it for Christmas and haven't used my wood burner since then. I didn't like it very much because it was a lot harder to control than what I'm used to. And I accidentally left the temperature up too high on my wood burning machine, and so I was getting a lot of scorching, a lot of carbon buildup on my tip, and you can see I had to keep cleaning the tip on my little tea strainer that I have there. But I just went ahead and went over those penciled areas with the tip the best that I could. I didn't realize how much I was struggling until I switched to my preferred wood burning tip when I did the base. But in the meantime, I was just trying to make those eyes and faces look like she was really getting dizzy. So one thing that I remembered also while I was working on it is that it's easier for me to make a nice circle if I just make a little mark at the north, south, east, west of the circle and then just fill in the lines there, which you can see that I did on the mouth. After that, I just went through and tried to clean up the lines on the eyes and the mouths. I tried to make the pupils look a little bit bigger on the surprised side just to give it the look that I was trying to go for. One other tip that's important to note is that it's important that you stabilize the hand that is using the burner. So I'm using the seed pot maker, I'm using my thumb, I'm using my fingers on my other hand, and resting my pinky from my dominant hand on those to try and stabilize the hand that I'm using to do the wood burning. I also decided after looking at it that I wanted the pupils on the dizzy picture to match each other. So one eye was big with a big pupil and one eye was smaller with a big pupil so that it would just make more sense when I was rolling it. I don't know. I've slowed it down right here so that you can see how slowly I work when it's in real time instead of sped up like I've been showing you. You really do need to be patient and slow and methodical to get it to look right. I didn't realize that when I first started doing wood burning and everything looked like trash. Then I went through and darkened up that neckline. Once that line was finished, I looked over it and decided that I didn't like the way that the irises looked on the Dizzy pictures. So I wanted to make the pupils bigger for the Dizzy sides so that they would match but still have one large eye and one small eye. I just thought it would look better for the kind of thing I was after. And I wanted to add some shading to the irises. And you're gonna see here why I wish I had got a better pyrography machine. Yeah, it can't make up its mind about what temperature setting it wants, and so you have to fiddle with the knob and smack it on the top. Maybe that's just my machine, but I don't know if it's just mine or if that's the brand, but you know, you learn to work with what you've got. So once I had finished with the eyes, I gave it a little more shading by adding some lips and shading in the open mouth of the surprised sides. And even though I do have to smack the machine on the top, I do love that it has a variable heat setting. It's really helpful for shading. I do find that I like to clean the tip off pretty frequently by rubbing it on that tea strainer. If you can keep the tip clean, it really helps with keeping a consistent heat when you come in contact with the wood that you're working on. So for the base, I did a quick internet search until I found an image that I really liked and printed it out to be the size that would fit on the base. And then I cut that out and folded the edges down so that I could make sure that it was centered where I wanted it, and then trimmed it down. And then I used graphite paper or carbon paper to transfer the image onto the wood that I'm working on. So the shiny side there of the carbon paper or graphite paper touches the wood surface, and then the image that you're tracing goes over the top of the carbon paper. And I like to tape it in place, just whatever tape you have handy, and I happen to have a whole lot of painter's tape. And that'll keep the image from wiggling around while you're trying to trace it. I also switched out the tip on my burner. So this is the tip that I use to make the faces, and I just pop it off with the screwdriver in case it's still a little hot. And this is the tip that I love to use. I feel like I just have a lot more control with it. And now I'm letting that heat back up while I trace the image onto the base of my pot maker. And you just trace over the lines. You can use a pencil or a dead pen. That's actually probably my favorite thing to use. But you want to press pretty hard to make sure that the image actually imprints onto the wood that you're working with. And just make sure that you get every line that you want. And then you just peel it all away, and ta-da, there's the image. And then I just went ahead and burned it on there, and you can see I just really have better control with this one. And I realized that I had been burning it at too high of a heat, and so I turned that down as well, and that really helps with control. If you just do a lower heat setting and then just slow down, it really helps. You don't get as many scorch marks and divots in the wood and inconsistent lines. It really helps to turn your workpiece as you're burning. That way you're able to pull the tip of the wood burner towards you instead of pushing away, and that gives you better control as well. I haven't really worked much with hardwood before, like this pot maker is. I've done balsa wood, usually blanks that you can get for wood burning on. and those are really easy to burn. This one definitely took a learning curve. Once I finished tracing this little sprout here, I decided that it could use some shading too, so I turned down the temperature again, smacked it a few times, and then added some shading. And I do this by just really lightly and, moderately fast doing little circles, kind of like using a nice colored pencil when you're trying to build up layers of color. Once I finished the sprout, I decided I really do love this tip. I love working with a lower heat setting, and I really like the way that the sprout on the base of this pot maker turned out better than the faces, but I'm still pretty happy with the faces. So here is how this looks while it spins a pot for me. And then I just slide the paper up to the line, and then all of my little pots will be a consistent size. As always, I will leave links in the description for everything that I've used in the video. And if you want to hit your own wood burning machine, you can get the same kind, but I will leave a link for the one that I wish that I had purchased. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this sunset view that I have from my backyard. Catch you next time.